Hey everybody, another book review. This is another book that I'm pretty sure I must have read before when I was like, I think around 20 or 21. Mark Twain, number 44, The Mysterious Stranger. This, I'm pretty sure this is the last book he wrote. And it's I don't know, it's a real sad book. It tries to be like, kind of like happy and optimistic, I guess. But you can tell he's at the end of his life, and he's really introspective and stuff like that. And this book actually kind of reminds me of like, my Dr. Seuss's last book, like, oh, the places you'll go, and it's like, oh, well, wonderful adventures I'm gonna go on when I die, and so it's kind of reminds me of that. You see this number 44. Although, from the name 44, you would assume that he's probably a robot or something like that. But I think like some kind of like, he's some kind of like superhuman godlike entity. And he can go anywhere and do anything he wants. He knows everything. And you think like, well, that's great, that's wonderful. He has the limitlessness of the universe at his command and control. That's so fantastic. But actually, it's like, no, because it's like the universe is just like a thought of his own. So it's very kind of claustrophobic and finite, and so it's kind of a creepy notion in a way. Yeah, so yeah, the part of this book that actually reminded me that I actually read it before, because there's one scene where he like brings back like all the shades of everybody who's ever lived before, and like they come back in their like skeletal form, and there's like all the people before Adam, and there was the missing link, a little skeleton guy riding on like a skeletal brontosaurus, kind of reminded like kind of a Halloween version of Alley-Oop or something like that. But yeah, that was a very picturesque scene in the book. Yeah, it's interesting. Of course, people say that Mark Twain was a really a negative, bitter kind of person. Other people will tell you he's just more realistic about human nature. I don't know why. What I always notice about him, more than anything else, is aside from his realistic negativity, is his humor. He's pretty funny. And I think in his personal life he wasn't a frightfully pleasant person. Luckily, I think his wife acted. I don't know if he was married more than once, but I read somewhere that his wife acted as a buffer between him and the outside world. Like, he would like write like really scathing, insulting, letters to, I guess, other authors and people who criticize his work and stuff like that. And his wife just would never mail them. So, so I guess he would have been a. Well, I wouldn't say, I was going to say, I guess he would have been a lot less popular. I don't know that he had any problems with popularity during his lifetime. Matter of fact, I think he was pretty much the toast of the town, wasn't he? He was very, very successful. Yeah. So yeah, so Mysterious Stranger. It's a quick read. I think I read it in like one day or something like that. It's because I'm always suspicious of the people that write these reviews, like in the 20th century, and they're talking about a 19th century book, and they explain all this like this very like kind of up to the minute modern symbolism and stuff like that. And I find it kind of hard to believe like a writer living in the 19th century was thinking in those terms. I think that it's kind of presumptuous for people to put those ideas or references in like in someone else's mouth that has been dead for generations. But yeah, so like I said, I'm really burned right now. But I just been wanting to do this review for a while. Mysterious Stranger, Mark Twain, the authoritative text. Apparently there was this work was published under the same title, but it wasn't the final draft. I guess there were like 3 drafts they found, and the ones that were published before this one came out are fraudulently represented as the authentic draft, when in fact they were not. That's what the publishers of this book say at any rate. So, so guys, yeah, if you see this book, pick it up. it's a quick and easy read, and it's very interesting. All right, guys. Well, see you next video. Bye.